Hey, good Monday morning. Normally I shoot these on Sunday night for Monday morning, but I'm on the road. And so I'm shooting it now about Monday noon. And the market doesn't really start until Tuesday anyway, so this should work out just fine. Okay. So this is Randy Kirk. If you like this kind of content, you know what to do. Looking for more members for Patreon. Had a couple of new members just in the last couple of days with went ahead and did the $10. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. But you can get in for $5 if you choose to. All right, let's talk about what's coming up this week. And we got a bunch of things to watch for in terms of Tesla stock in general, but also in terms of the macro. So let's start with the macro. Number one this week will be the announcement of a number of major companies in terms of retail earnings. This is the retail week. And so finding out how Target and Home Depot and others did will give us some indication, again, of how the total economy is doing. This will be one of those bad news, good news. A lot of what I'm going to be talking about today in the macro is bad news, good news stuff. The good news would be if retail did well and they're making lots of money. And that would cause the Fed to say we need to raise interest rates even more. The bad news would be if they are only neutral or they lose money or they just don't have they're not showing great evidence of the rest of the year. They think that the rest of the year is going to be soft. That would be a negative, but would cause the Fed to be more inclined to slow down at least, or maybe pause. But so watch the retail sales numbers that come out this week. Next will be the Purchasing Managers Index for services and separately for manufacturing. The Purchasing Managers Index is always very important because it's showing this is an index where they're actually giving their impressions of whether they're paying more, paying less, whether their order books are full, etc. So watch for the Purchasing Managers Index this week to see what they're saying about how things are going this year, again, affecting the Fed. The next one would be that the Fed is, as usual, going to give us at least 2 opportunities this week to kill the market, no matter what the market's doing. If it's already down, go down more. If it's doing okay, maybe to kill it that day. But anyway, we have the FOMA coming out this week, FOMC coming out on Wednesday. And then we have the Atlanta Fed President, Bostic, I guess is how you pronounce his name. He'll be speaking on Thursday. So those are both chances where we can get the market slapped down. I doubt if either one of those are going to result in good news for the market. Now, maybe there'll be good news for the economy and for the U.S., going forward, because maybe they're making the right decisions. You and I could have that as a separate conversation, but in the meantime, at least know that these 2 things are coming up this week and could have a serious effect on the market on the days that they happen. And then there will be the big one for the week. This is probably the largest, most important one, which is the PCE, the Personal Consumptions Expenditures Index. That'll be coming out. I believe it's also on Thursday. This is the one the Fed pays the most attention to. So this is not taking a look at a basket full of groceries to determine what they're costing right now. This is looking at the overall consumption. How are people spending their money? What are they spending it on? And this is the index that the Fed pays the most important attention to. So if this is up more than expected, that is, of course, going to be a downer for the market. If it's about what as expected or slightly down from expectations, that could be good for the market. So that's a big one to watch for later this week. All right. What about the Tesla stock itself? Well, the Friday close was up. So it closed at its high for the day. And then it went even higher after hours. That would give us an indication that we should be having a decent start to the week. Obviously, that's only one indicator, but that would be a really strong indicator of a good start to the week, depending on the overall market, of course. The number 2 thing is, I think, this is my personal judgment, is that the Investor Day is going to be impacting the stock all the way up to Investor Day and after Investor Day. It's kind of hard to imagine Investor Day not being good news. There might be news that would be less than expectations, which would be bad. There might be news that is not understood by the market, which is common. but there's not going to be some kind of negative news coming out of investment day. So from now until the March 1, I would expect the overall inclination of the Tesla stock to be up. Now, it could get slammed down by bad numbers on the PCE or bad numbers or a bad statement by the Atlanta Fed president. A lot of things could, in the macro, could keep Tesla from going up this week and even cause it to go down, just like we saw the one day last week where Tesla went down 10 unexpectedly in the middle of the week because of overall macro news that was out there. So in general, I would see Tesla going up, up, up until Investor Day. You may have heard me say earlier, I think this is a case where Tesla will even go up during and after Investor Day because the news is so robust. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay. Another thing that's going to affect, I think, stock performance this week, Tesla stock performance, is it was named the very best performing stock of 2023 on the S&P year to date. So that's good news, I think, because it's a motivational. It causes people to say, oh my gosh, I need to pay attention to this stock. It's gone up. I think it was 60, might have been 69%. I double check me on that. Let me know in the comments below. By the way, be sure to comment. I love your comments. The comments are fantastic. Okay. So that would be, I think, a positive catalyst. The news on Tesla right now is fairly neutral. Yes, there have been like two pieces of, I would call, relatively bad news. One was NISTA saying that they wanted a recall of 300,000, whatever it was, a whole bunch of Tesla automobiles because of full self-driving. Well, it was an over-the-air update. I think the market has begun to understand that these over-the-air updates are not the same as a requirement that you take your car into the shop and have it worked on, and all the hassle that goes along with those kind of recalls. But it's a headline, and it's a negative headline. And in this case, maybe if I excuse me, maybe if I wasn't such a bull on Tesla, I might have taken it a little more negatively than some of the others, because it talked about the specific kinds of things that a Tesla will do, sometimes in an intersection that you really don't want your car to do. So that negative headline might have been a little more negative than some of the other recalls. All right. And the other thing would be the unions in Buffalo. The fact that the employees in the Buffalo factory some of them want to start a union. And right after the announcement was made of the union, several of those individuals who were part of the group that were trying to form a union were let go or were fired. Tesla has explained in detail, for a change, this is an unusual situation, they explained in detail that those decisions have been made a couple of months ago. They were part of a normal annual review, and those individuals were already known to be let go. And it was a very small percentage of the people that were involved that were let go. So this has nothing. The headline is incorrect. Tesla has already, for once, they've actually explained it, and yet the headlines continue to make it look like Tesla is anti-union. Now, they are, I'm sure, not desirous of having unions, but there's a lot of difference between that and being anti-union or taking any illegal or illicit method of trying to keep a union from forming. That is an entirely different thing, which they apparently did not do in this case. All right. We have also the Mexico factory announcement. So that's kind of neutral too, because the announcement has only been made by the president of Mexico and by other individuals from the government in Mexico. Tesla still has not said, yes, we're doing this, and this is going to be a giga or a mega or an assembly plant. We don't know what it is. We don't know the details. And I think as a result of that, it's had no effect on the stock. Now, if the announcement is made before investment day comes up, I think that could have a short-term benefit if it is in fact a full-on gigafactory. I think if it's smaller than a gigafactory, if it's just assembly or just manufacturing parts for repairs, or maybe if it's a mega factory, it would have the same. No, probably not, because people don't get what a mega factory is yet. they don't know that a mega factory is just as important in dollar volume and maybe more important in profits than a gigafactory. So, so until we really know what this is, we can't really know what the impact will be. But if it's a full-on gigafactory, I think it will impact in a positive way. All right. Also in the news today, I think, is the first news we've had of this, that the version 11.3 has been sent out to of FSD has been sent out to employees. Therefore, we can kind of expect that by the end of the week or so, we should be seeing it in wider release. We should begin to see the YouTubers come out with their reporting, with their reviewing of the new version 11. And if those reviews are positive, obviously that could have a great impact on the stock. I don't think it is that shocking that this version 11 is coming out the week before Investor Day on March 1st. They might have delayed it a bit in order to have that continuity. All right. Let's see. So I think that's all the news that's coming. News that we already are expected things that are coming this week that would affect the stock. I would generally, as I think you could already tell, expect this to be a good week for Tesla stock the following week as well. I'm excited, as I'm sure you are, about what's going to happen on Investment Day. I have so many questions about what's going to happen that day. So once again, if you liked what the content was here, this is the time to hit the like button, and looking for more members on Patreon. So glad to have you guys commenting. So many great comments coming in through the comments. And I think that's it for today. It's been great talking to you.